All right. Hey guys, welcome to episode 11, 12. It's one of these episodes of Creative to Creative. My name is Ray, aka Remcreate, and I am here with Maruwins,
Whoa.
cosplayer, Twitch streamer extraordinaire. Uh, we've run into each other at conventions, and I've taken pictures with her a couple times, and she's an awesome nerd and personality. And
Uh,
thank you for coming on. How you been?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Oh man, just keeping busy, trying to keep a level head, like quarantine and full time job, all that fun stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's a weird. I do cosplay full time now, so I rarely leave my house.
That's the dream, right? Like, and it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where doing cosplay full time, there's like a road that you did to get there, right? So we're gonna go down this road,
Yeah,
and we're gonna have some fun, all
yeah,
right?
let's travel this road.
All right. So like, growing up, what was your favorite anime that you watched and was fell in love with to begin with?
So, I actually didn't really have exposure to anime until I was like a teenager. Like other than
Really?
let's say Pokemon, let's veto Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Let's veto those because those everybody watch those if you're like my age, and we all know about those. But
Yeah.
my first real anime that I fell in love with, and to this day it is my favorite, is Neon Genesis Evangelion from
Ooh.
1995. That is my favorite anime of all time, followed closely by Berserk 1997. I
Wow.
watched that shortly after. So I have like a level of like things that are worth my time to watch, and I always ask, are they as good as these two? And if so, then I'll give them a watch, and if not, then I don't know if they're worth my time.
No, I feel that. Because those are awesome, Evangelion and Berserk. Because it's one of those things where you had to seek those out because they weren't being aired in the West. Like
Yeah.
where did you watch this to begin with?
So my girlfriend in high school
Yeah.
introduced me to Evangelion, and she had the box VHS. So she let me
Ooh.
borrow like all 26 episodes and the movies. So I binged those, and I've made my boyfriend actually watch Evangelion. I was like, listen, no, you're not an anime fan, but you got to do this for me, okay? And he was like, this show's sick. This show's awesome. I'm like, right.
I know,
Um,
right?
and then Berserk, my anime buddy Cheba, he loves anime so much. He built an anime throne out of VHS tapes. Like you could sit on his anime throne. He had so many animes, and this was like the early to mid 2000s. At
Yeah.
least in Canada, it was really hard to get animes, and the best way to do it was VHS or DVD.
Yeah.
So he lent me Berserk, and because it's his favorite anime, and he's like, "You have to watch this," and it's like the music. Oh,
Ooh.
music of Berserk is so good, and still in my little Dark Souls loving heart is like little 16-year-old Mars Berserk loving heart. That's where it comes from.
That's awesome. So, because it's funny that you say that because me growing up obviously there was the Tsunamis and the Adult Swims whatnot to watch
Hmm.
anime, but when I watched Naruto and Bleach specifically, my buddy he actually it wasn't DVDs, it was actually like a stack of CDs this big, legitimately and it was like 4 episodes a disc. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no,
Hmm.
take this. It's all like 180 episodes of Naruto." And I spent my spring break of sophomore year of high school watching Naruto and Bleach, and
Love it.
realizing how many fucking filler episodes they all have. I was like, "Oh god!" But no, that's awesome. Like you got connected with your friends, and that all happened. So not many people know. You are from Vancouver, Canada, correct?
Yes, Canadian.
Woo.
West Coast.
So so when it comes to it, what was your first convention that you attended?
So I'm an old lady. I'm 32.
Mm.
So I started cosplaying when I was in my mid 20s. And I think the first cosplay convention I ever went to was Anime Revolution. And I think it was 2012, I think.
Yeah.
And I was 25 years old. I made one cosplay. I made Renoa Hartley from Final Fantasy VIII because
Ooh.
I am a fangirl and an old lady. So that was what I had to make. And I went with my friend who cosplayed Fiona from Adventure Time. And we went all 3 days and we were like these kind of older weebs and we were like, this is so cool. And instantly I was addicted and it was a lot of fun.
No, that's awesome. that's a that's a that's a random mashup. Yeah, Fiona from Adventure Time and Renoa and like
Yeah.
it's like
Actually, that same friend,
yeah.
she was really into Bleach and Naruto too. Because she's a little bit younger than me. So those are her like Evangelions and Berserk. She's like, I Bleach and Naruto. I'm like, right on.
Right on, buddy. Because like that's the thing. Because like when I first cosplayed, I understood why. Because like when I first saw cosplay, it was like when you see it in media, it's always like the old Trekkie, and it's like they live in their mother's basement,
Yeah.
and it's like stigmatized that way.
Yeah.
But then
It's like a Comic-Con kind of person, like
yeah,
like cosplaying like for a comic book, like Spider-Man or something.
yeah, and like I thought, and the climate was if you see me cosplay, kill me. That was like the climate.
For
like,
sure.
Yeah, 2008, 2007, or around that time. But then the first time I cosplayed, someone like wanted to take my picture, and I was blown away. I was like, oh shit! And then I felt like a rock star, and I'm like, okay,
for sure.
yeah. Then I understood why people cosplay because it makes you feel like a rock star, right?
Yeah. It does. Like, you know, Renoa, not so many people knew, but like sometimes you'd make the costume of the character you love and it would be just what's hot right now. So people are like, oh shit, that's new. That's my favorite character from this new thing, and all the attention and all the pictures, and it just makes your heart so happy, and it's like it's just good because like A, you get to be the character you want to be, and B, people love that character as do you. So it's like an instant connection of hey, we could be friends, right?
Exactly.
It's like it's very cool.
Exactly, and it's one of those things where like you've built a brand name from cosplay. You're actually doing it full time now, which is awesome, and it's one of those things where like me as a photographer, I work with different varying levels of like a following on Instagram and whatnot, and like legitimately the reason why I love working with you so much is that yeah, you have like X amount of following, right? But you're still a nerd that crafts and like loves it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, like, um, there's no shame in buying your cosplay. I do buy a few cosplays, like
Yeah.
I do just to save time.
Mm.
But like when somebody who's a fan of the series and you're cosplaying their favorite character and they know that you made it and that you love their character as much as we do, they like appreciate and can tell like 100 times more than if you just said, oh, this is popular, so I'll cosplay it. Like
Yeah.
I've done things that I cosplayed Cece from Code Geass, and don't get me wrong, I love Clamp. Clamp is beautiful.
Yeah.
If I could have a million Clamp art books, I would. But I watched 5 episodes of Code Geass and I was like, this isn't for me. But people like Cece, and my followers don't like Cece, and you know why? It's because I don't like it. And you just see it. And then when I cosplay like Tifa or Aerith or like whoever from Dark Souls, people are like, oh, I love this, and you just feel that. When you're true to yourself, people can see that.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's super cool because like, what is it? I saw the Final Fantasy VII like lineup where you went like
the fan made, yeah.
you did the whole crew, and I appreciate that, and it's super fun, and like also you do the other Final Fantasies as well. You did Renault first. What was it?
Yeah.
You did Dagger, didn't you? Like from 9.
I did do Dagger. Yeah.
And I was like,
it was a long time ago.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite Final Fantasy, so that one struck a heart.
You know what I was playing over my vacation?
What?
North with my man and my boyfriend. I was playing Final Fantasy 9 on my Switch, and I was like, I'm gonna cosplay Beatrix next year because I love her.
Yeah, Beatrix is such a bad the
oh, she
chick.
is. Yeah,
boss.
she's just like, you're all insects to me, and I'm like, step on me harder, mommy.
Because like, oh, you know the funny thing is, and like spoiler alert for anybody that's listening, but legitimately speaking, like when I ran into her in Burmecia with my squad, I was like, oh, I'm so like decked out and leveled. Like when she still hits me with Clamazard and fucking like just sets everybody down to one, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Dude, when you enter Burmecia and the
yeah,
beautiful, like, solemn sort of piano plays, and it just like it has this like dread and like sense of sense of like
like lost.
sadness and loss to it. And what I love about Final Fantasy, and same as I love about Dark Souls, is like some with the music and the environments, and they make you feel things. Because I like to feel things. I'm a girl. I like to feel things. But Burmecia is one of my favorite areas in Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX is like peak Final Fantasy. It's like
Yeah,
weird and makes you question your existence and like the like feelings and the meanings of life, but it's also kitschy AF.
yeah. Like legitimately, what was it? Because when quarantine hit, like I was like, I have I'm collecting unemployment. I'll go play some of my favorite games over again, and I played Final Fantasy 9 over again. And like there's a handful of things that like when I was like 9, 10 years old playing it the first time around, that like I just did not get, like the like Vivi's mini game, the jump
It
rope.
hits a little different when you're older, huh?
Yeah, because like because I remember like when I was a kid, I would play that mini game like this doesn't make any sense, and like because like you'd see the rope go over and like you try to jump rope
God,
with,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with those fucking evil devil twins, like Jesus fucking
Oh
like,
yeah.
but like
I don't play that game. I'm like, nope, nope, no, you little jump rope girls. We ain't playing this game. See ya. I'm gonna go see you to play.
you know what the trick is, if you play with headphones, like if you hear the little like the step, you don't look at the screen, you listen for the step. That's when you press the button.
The in Final Fantasy X,
Yeah,
the best way to play the it's kind of the opposite. The best way to play the lightning bolt dodging game to get Lulu's
yeah.
celestial weapon is actually to turn off the sound of the game, put headphones in, listen to your music, and watch for the flash. So it's like a visual cue instead of an audio cue because it's
Oh,
lagging. Whereas like I didn't know there was like a sound cue for Final Fantasy IX. That's really interesting.
yeah. I didn't know it was a visual cue for the lightning dodging thing.
Yeah, that's how the real pros of the platinum trophy do it. And I was like, that's real smart.
There's that one. In Final Fantasy 9, like you know before Burmecia, like in that cave where you, if you go up the ladder, there's a yeah, like
There's a big ass dragon,
yeah.
and he's like level 40, and he does like 3,000 damage. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You know
Out of here.
you know what? Like if you get the reflect ring from Trino Auction House and like put it on Dagger and have her learn reflect, because like the dragons only do Thanthaga or claw, and most of the times you're like hoping they don't claw you. But so like if you reflect the Thanthaga, it actually does damage to them. So that's how I got to like
Oh, really?
level 50 before I beat Beatrice, or before I,
Nice.
so it's that's like these are really stupid like things that like I was a big nerd of when I was a kid. I was like my
Small little details.
yeah, my friends are like, how the fuck are you this level before like what is it exiting this place? I'm like, reflect ring.
Nice. Did you know you could beat the entire game level 1?
Yeah, with Final Fantasy 9, right? Like
You could do level 1 challenge.
that's the thing, because like I know you can do it, but I've never sat down and did it. You know?
Me neither. I'm like, I don't have time for this. It's like you could beat Dark Souls without getting hit once. I'm like, yeah, you can, but I can't, and I don't want to. That's a
Exactly.
lot of Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's like that, and same thing with Final Fantasy 10. Like you could beat the game without the spear grid.
No, Spirit Grid, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
that
actually really interesting and like really sort of like it's a neat challenge because you have to be resourceful in like how you play your characters, and
Yeah,
basically most of the time you end up using characters like Riku because she has such utility.
yeah. She
She's,
like
in my opinion, the best character in Final Fantasy X
yeah,
because of her utility.
because like her use skill is like just
Yep.
like
And
absolutely
her
making
mix. Her
yeah,
mix is also really good.
yeah, most definitely. Freaking hell, I could talk about Final Fantasy and what is it, little game mechanics all day, but
Game.
but when it comes to like anime conventions that you've been to, like what's a couple conventions that you're a big fan of that you're like, if that happens I'm gonna go there.
So I always like to say America has the best conventions. Canadian conventions, they're okay. And you know what? We don't have as many people as America, and America just parties harder than Canada. So we like to go where we party the hardest. So my favorite conventions are probably KatsuCon back east because I
Ooh,
love seeing people bring their best cosplay.
yeah.
I'm like, these are where the cosplayers of cosplay go to show off and look really, really sick. And I'm like, I want to be where the people trying to look really sick are. I also really love Fanime because Fanime
Mm,
is like AX without the sort of industry networking thing
yeah.
going on. So everybody is a lot more personable, a lot more friendly. It's a smaller convention. Um, the California cosplay community is wonderful.
Mm,
They're so nice and welcoming to little Canadian me. So I'm always happy, happy, happy to go to Fanime, and I love Emerald City Comic Con and I love SakuraCon
yeah.
because I love Seattle, and I have tons of friends from Seattle, and just going to see my Seattle fam is it feels good, man. So those are my favorite conventions.
I'm not yeah
Um,
yeah good.
oh, I was also gonna say shout out to Colossal Con. That con is whack, man. I'm like, whoa, day drinking. All right.
Yeah, like I had a cosplay photographer, Ethel Rogers from Boston in Massachusetts, and he's all like, Colossal Con. I love Colossal Con because of just the raw debauchery that happens. And I'm just like, because like Colossal Con's on my
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Good.
we went to the well, they closed the water park one of the nights just for the con attendees.
Yeah.
So you know anime conventions, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's a little thirsty, a little nerdy, a little awkward. So it all comes out after you've been day drinking. So we're like, let's go check out the hot tub.
Yeah.
You walk in the hot tub and it's just full of people making out. And I said to Kevin, I was like, this water is probably 2% semen. Let's leave. It was gross.
Oh shit.
But other than that, ClassicCon's great. And what else is really cool about it is because
Yeah.
like you can shoot in the pool area and you can like
Mm.
watch people in their cosplays and or you can go like outside of the Kalahari and they have this big sort of field open area and I've seen some beautiful photos taken there and I'm like, shit, that's Colossal Con? Damn, that's really sick.
I heard it's sick, but at the same time, like people that have shot there, they're like, just be ready with bug repellent because you're gonna get tore up by mosquitoes in those
Yeah,
fields.
because it's right by the Great Lakes, so
Oh
there is mosquito country.
yeah, all the
It's so
skeeters.
weird. I come from like a small town and like definitely grew up near farms, tons of mosquitoes, tons of bugs. And one of the things I noticed about living in the city, mosquitoes.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And I think about it and I'm like, isn't that weird?
It's
Like you would think.
like we sacrificed the uh we sacrifice good air quality for lack of mosquitoes. That's
Yeah.
that's sort of like
You're like, I'll take it.
I'll take that trade off any day. But oh man, because Katsucon, I only went 2018, and that was such a fun experience because I was just running around with my camera and like just seeing all the awesome cosplays. But then like at the same time, like it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and someone's like, "You want a drink?" And I'm like, "Well, shit, when in Rome."
Are you sure that's not AX?
Fucking Katsu's like that. Fanime is my favorite California con. Like bar none.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Fanime is like the hidden gem.
yeah,
It's like the perfect. It's like the Goldilocks convention of California.
yeah, because like everyone talks Anime
Just
Expo.
right.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like everyone talks Anime Expo, right? Like, 'cause
Anime Expo's yeah. Anime Expo's really cool because it's so big. unfortunately, like because of the Rona,
Yeah.
my friends were supposed to come from Sweden, and my best friend, one of my best friends that I grew up with, she married a Swede, and they live in Sweden. They were going to come
Yeah.
Anime Expo with us, and see, we were going to take them around LA and take them to a real anime convention and like get them day
Oh.
drinking, have the whole experience. But unfortunately, like
Ah.
that's too bad. They're pretty bummed out about it too because her husband had made a Junkrat cosplay from Overwatch, and he was really excited to wear it. I was like, I'm sorry, dude.
Ah, that's because that's the thing. Like, was it? You know, everyone's being safe, and it's very very much like I completely understand why conventions are a thing, but like, was it? I was so excited for 2020 because like 20
Yeah.
because like Anime Los Angeles and Katsucon were like a good like starter, and like we're like, oh, this is gonna be such a great year. Then, then Rona hits, and we're like, oh fuck, what do we do? Guess
Yeah, it's like, oh, so much for my like train down to Seattle for Emerald City Comic Con.
yeah.
So much for wearing my Tris Marigold dress at an anime convention this year. This is so sad.
Yeah, no, like I was so excited for SakuraCon, but then
Hmm.
that died in a fire. Like,
Mm.
but what like the thing I love about SakuraCon is that it keeps the like the 24/7 convention format.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It is 24 hours.
Yeah, because like legitimately like Fanime is 24 hours and whatnot. Like for like the
Hmm.
arcade. Uh, Anime Expo used to be 24/7 like when it was in Anaheim.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. Not many people know that, but like 2007, like was it when it was in Anaheim? It was 24/7. Like people would not get a hotel room and actually like sleep in the anime watching theaters. It was a
Wow. We used to be wild.
yeah. If like was it me being a 17-year old at the time? I was like, I'm not gonna ask my mom for a ride back home. I'm gonna sleep in this anime viewing
Let's sleep
thing.
in the anime theater.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
with like a B-rate anime playing in the background, and like me and my friends just talking shit
Mhm.
the whole time. But yeah, not like SoccerCon keeps that, and like the one thing I love the most at SoccerCon is that they have a 24/7 mahjong room,
Yeah, you do.
and I I love that room because you go there, it's like playing Texas Hold'em at a casino. You just put down your name, and then you go to a waiting room where they play like Kaji or Saki from reruns
Right.
until they call your name. But that's that's probably like one of the things. Other than that, it's like overcast 24/7, and it's like easy mode for photography.
Yeah, that's the Pacific Northwest for you.
Yeah, but
It kind of gets depressing. Like we come to California and we're like, "This is the best sunshine every day," and you guys are like, "It's so hot. I'm so sick of the sun." Then you're like, you come to the Pacific Northwest, and you're like, "Oh my god, it's green. It's beautiful. It's overcast. I'm not gonna die of heat. It's wonderful." As such is life.
such is life. No, it's
I love there's like a really wonderful restaurant that my boyfriend and I go to all the time when we're in Seattle. It's called like the Tap House,
yeah.
and it's just sort of locked down for Cheesecake Factory, and they have 106 beers on tap. So you go there and
Ooh.
you're just like, "Oh, am I gonna drink?" Ooh, and they have really good pub food, and Kevin will get like a beer flight, and I'll get like try a cider or something like that. It's just a really great restaurant.
Not, I feel that there's actually a restaurant in Seattle that I love called the Pink Door. And
Hmm.
it's because it's open until 2 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, I love it.
yeah, so like the funny thing is that like my Airbnb 2019 SoccerCon was like close to like Pike's Place, like the
Yep.
that pier area thing, and it's in that vicinity, and it's in an alleyway, and I go into the alleyway to find this place because it's on Yelp, and I'm like, I see like a pop in like dining area, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's the place. Let me go to the front door and like get to the restaurant. So I go around and like there's no front door, and I'm like, where the fuck is this place called the Pink Door? And then I go back into the alleyway, and lo and behold, there's a fucking pink door that has no sign, but it's just a pink door.
It's a pink door. I
Yeah,
mean, what else could it
yeah. That's why I was like looking and go like, oh, I feel stupid now.
be?
But awesome Italian food, open till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like after my shoots
Nice.
at SoccerCon, I went straight there. So good times. But yeah, like plus like Seattle has some great clam chowder.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had Seattle clam chowder.
Really?
I've always wanted, and like Kevin the same way, we've always wanted to go to Boston
Mm.
and AC because like Boston is really, really old and it's like super old and janky and old. And
Yeah.
I want to go eat lobster and clam chowder. So Kevin wants to see the bad roads and I want to eat the food.
Yeah, like Boston's like probably like one of like the cities I always wanted to visit. Just because like being a stand-up comedian, like was it the the stories I hear about the Boston comedy rooms is they're the hardest rooms to work. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, they will go up there and they will like tear you apart if you suck.
No, no mercy.
Yeah, so like I'm all like I want to test my chops over there. Like that's the reason why
Oh, no.
that's the reason why I want to go to Boston. But yeah, no, it's because like a lot of the comedians that are like insanely good come from Boston. Like Joe Rogan's from Boston, Bill Burr's from Boston. Like
I love Bill Burr.
dude, Bill Burr is insane.
He's so funny.
And like he
I'm like, he's such an asshole, but I'm laughing. You know, I feel like in The Mandalorian, he just played himself. He was Bill Burr as Bill Burr in Star Wars.
I wouldn't doubt it. Holy shit. No, like because that fool is a technician. Like I love how he forms jokes and how he executes them. And it's just yeah.
His delivery is really good.
Yeah. It's like for me it's like just cuz the one thing I'm desperately trying to figure out is how to make stand-up comedy material about the cosplay convention scene. And I have a wealth of information and experience
Huh.
with this damn scene, but at the same time, like it's I don't know, it just feels like it's near and dear to my heart, so I don't want to, bad talk it, you know?
I feel like with that, it's such a specific like it's just a specific thing to like talk about and understand that only people who are familiar with that scene would really know and understand, right?
Yeah.
Like if you talked about funny stories in the cosplay community or the convention community to a bunch of like people who don't attend them, they wouldn't understand. But if you talk to some people who regularly attend the events or cosplayers or people who follow that sort of stuff on the internet, they'd probably understand and probably find it funny.
Yeah.
It's just like you gotta know your audience.
Exactly, cuz like it's cuz if I were to attack it and like this is me like just like workshopping a joke is that cuz when it comes to cosplay and anime and conventions, it's like people think that we just want to be kids, like we don't want to grow up, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we've grown up. You know, we love anime, we love video games, but we've grown up. So all the raves, all the party, all the clubs that we've been to, we sort of just brought that with us and like just dressed up as our
Totally.
favorite characters.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like the gist of it. Like, all right, so there's two types of people that I run into. There's one person that says, "Hey, there's a really lit party that's gonna happen. You're invited. There's gonna be girls. There's gonna be drinks. It's gonna be super lit. It's gonna be
I know this person.
yeah, the roof's gonna be on fire." Second person is, "Hey, I have a kickback in my place. It's super chill. If you want to come through, it's whatever. But like, it's chill." If I go to the
I also know that.
yeah, if I go to the first person's party, 9 times out of 10, it's 9 dudes in a hotel room playing Super Smash Brothers, and they're waiting their turn. If I go to the second person's party, just half naked people all over the place. You see a fucking Sailor Moon in the corner doing a bubble cocaine off of a Spider-Man. It's the most hedonistic bullshit thing I've ever seen in my life, and you sort of like step back and you go, anime.
Yeah. That's like a pretty accurate representation.
Yeah, so
I feel.
like that's how I would attack the joke, but it's like I want to make it funnier,
Yeah.
It's like it's
I think I don't know. I don't know shit about stand-up comedy, like let's be real. But I do listen to comedians. And I think it's a lot of like writing and a lot of like practice
Yeah.
and a lot of like testing to see, because like you don't just get on stage and talk. They like rehearse. It's like acting, right?
Yeah.
It's like practice, right.
You, you know what the craziest thing is? Is that like the first time I did stand up was actually at an anime convention. Like
Oh, that's so cool.
so
I
like
don't think I've ever seen an anime convention with like a stand-up section.
there like shout out to the Grand Otaku or the Otaku Comedy Tournament, OCT. They do their shows at Anime Los Angeles, Fanime, Anime Expo, and like they do the Anime Expo comics last comic standing. But I didn't have material the first time I went on stage, and like
Oh no!
I was
You're just like flying by the seat of your pants.
yeah, I was just drunk off my ass. So like I was like I went on stage and I'm all like, so like everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your photography. I love your lighting. I love your composition. I love your art." And in the back of my head, I'm like, "Fuck the art. I'm just trying to talk to some Asian bitches, man. Like that's my whole game, man. Like that's all I
I
want."
love it. I love the honesty. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah,
I love it.
the funny thing is like people that know me, that's like know that like that's far from the truth, but like knowing the scene and knowing what most of these fuckers are thinking, I'm like, this is why you guys picked up a fucking camera, you assholes. you know?
Yeah, there's definitely. Well, I don't want to generalize too greatly, but I think men and women like to look at beautiful women.
Yeah.
So if a guy picks up a camera, he's like, he might take pictures of mountains or of cats, but like, really, he's like, I want to take a picture of that hot Tifa cosplayer over there. Yeah. And not because he's lecherous or gross, it's because he's a boy and he just likes hot cosplayers. And like, I'm a girl and I'm like, I understand that completely. It's why I like sexy cosplay, because like I want to be a hot cute girl. So I don't know. I've been a sexy cosplayer from day one, and like that is like it's in my blood.
Yeah, most definitely.
Before I cosplayed, I was a.
Good.
Oh, I was gonna say before I cosplayed, I was a digital artist, and I definitely drew some Tibby in my day.
and that's the awesome thing, because like it's one of those things where you are that, but that's not all you are, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So like it's one of those things where like I enjoy that. So because like I generalize just to poke fun, but then at the same time it's like, you know, there's some real artists in this fucking scene. Like
oh, absolutely. Like some people, I'm like, that's art. I'm like I'm just a dork who makes things, and like I like art. I appreciate art, but me, I'm a dork who makes things. Like you could say it's art, and I'd be like, well, thank you. Do I think it's art? But like some cosplayers and certainly some photographers, it's just like that is art. That's beautiful art.
Exactly. That's why it's like I appreciate, because like I appreciate the people that like that have fun with it, you know, more than anything, you know, because
for sure
there's people that like take it really seriously. There's people that like that suck the fun out of it, you know. But like the people,
yeah, absolutely.
Because the thing I attribute to like your success is that you're yourself, like, and like you have fun with it, you know. And that's people like
I'm too old not to be myself.
No, I feel that like I don't look it, but I barely turned 30, so I and I'm like my 20s was like I liked my 20s, it was great, but I was depressed for 90% of it. So like I'm looking at 30 going like this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy myself. Like I'm like
I feel like men generally, when they're in their late 20s and early 30s, that's when it starts to like, generally speaking, for like, you know, the success of like being masculine is like, you know, finding a girlfriend, finding a job, finding hobbies they like, that kind of starts to go up in your 30s, and you're generally more likely to be a little happier. Because like I feel like for guys like their 20s, they struggle more maybe than girls. To be honest, like I didn't actually really start. I was like a very wallflower insulated weird girl. I had
Mm.
barely any friends. And then to be honest, like cosplay brought me a lot of friends. It brought me a lot of female friends, which
Yeah.
was something I never had a lot of in
Mm.
school because I was either made fun of for being a weird anime nerd, drawing weird anime boys and anime girls, and like what was not cool when you were a teenager my
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And so most of my friends were male because they liked anime and video games, and that's what I liked.
Yeah.
But as I got older and as I got into cosplay, I had way more female friends, and it's awesome.
Mm.
I'm like, these girls are like me. This is so cool. So like throughout cosplay, it's been like really great for my mood, for my self-esteem,
Nice.
just like to be around people that don't that actually like you for your weirdness, and or they don't see you as competition, or then they like see you as a friend and they want to lift you up, and you want to do the same for them. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that's why like what is it? As much as like there's like the toxic side of the community, there it's a
for
community,
sure.
you know? Like and I that's why I like about um like the cosplay community in general cuz like we're just a bunch of nerds that
Yeah,
yeah, that this like that like animated, Japanese cartoons and like we bond over that, you know?
absolutely.
But
I think most communities have their icky toxicity, but
yeah.
you just kind of deal with it. It's there. It's like you try not to be a part of it or acknowledge it. You just try and be nice to everybody around you to the best of your ability.
No, I feel that like cuz I feel that like to begin with, like when I first got into the cosplay scene, right? Like I had like a big net. I'm gonna be friends with everybody. Like I'm gonna say hi to everybody. I'm gonna try to be like hey, I'm Ray. I have a camera. Let's hang out. But then like that dark side hits, and like you associate with people, and some people end up being like shitty people, and like you sort of just like have to like
Absolutely.
yeah like what in in your experience, like when you first got into the scene, like was it much the same, like where you're like getting a big net, then you just like consolidate into like a good inner circle?
I am naturally a very introverted person.
Mm.
Like I really have trained and I've really worked really hard to be as boisterous and chit chatty as I am. But normally I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
So for me, making friends is really hard. I find it, I even to this day, I still find it hard to like approach people and say, hey, I really love your cosplay. Can I get a picture? Hey, I follow you on social media. I think you're great. I like, that is like, that takes every ounce of like inner strength I have. It's so hard. So what
Yeah.
would happen with me was that extroverts would find me and they
Mm.
would be like, I found this introvert. I like her. I will keep her. She is my friend now. And that's how I made a lot of cosplay friends. And I mean, like, granted, some of the people that um, I found I like started hanging out with, they'd see like one of my big like elaborate cosplays, and they'd be like, "Wow, she's a good craft person," and then they'd see my like hoe cosplays, and they'd be like, "Oh, she's one of those." Oh, and you get the people that kind of like they feel that if she does hoe cosplay, she is therefore less of a crafter, and I'm like, to me, like why not both, man? I
Yeah.
just do both because I like to do both. And there's some people that don't like that, and they don't have to be my friend. I wish them all the best. I just do not care. I have my care meter is like this, and I
Yeah.
only have so much care to give, so we got to dole it out.
Exactly.
But it was a while. I had my one friend Mira.
Yeah.
She's super extroverted, and she adopted me, and then she adopted these other more introverted cosplay girls, and that's how I found my inner circle of cosplay friends. So
Oh, that's awesome.
one of them adopted us all.
He's like, you guys play well with each other.
Yeah, and I remember it because we met over League of Legends. Like I don't
Oh.
play League of Legends anymore, but League of Legends I played in like 2009. I remember playing a lot of it,
Yeah.
and I played right up until I remember the last few League games I played, and Diana was really overpowered, so it was a really long time ago. And I did a lot of League of Legends cosplay, and that's what made me a lot of my cosplay friends was League of Legends because
Oh, nice.
it was so popular at the time. Everybody had League cosplays. Like I have pictures from like 2003
For
2013, 2014 of just this
yeah,
huge League of Legends cosplay meetup at Anime Revolution, and just seeing all the Katarina cosplayers, all the Garen cosplayers, the Teemo cosplayers. Like, it's just wild. I mean, now it's very, you don't see as many unless it's like KDA or like,
yeah,
kind of Taobao sort of costumes that people can just buy.
yeah,
But back in the day, those weren't as prevalent, so a lot of people did still make their costumes.
yeah. It's crazy because like the person that actually got me into the scene. Shout out to my homegirl Mila. Uh, she was the she was one of two cosplayers from my high school, and the thing that she did was she loved League of Legends, and the crazy thing is that like we had League of Legends like things here in Southern California that and they had cosplay contests at these events, and she won her PC rig setup like at these different events. She
So
got
awesome.
she got her HyperX headphones. She got a mechanical keyboard. She got a tower. Like all she had to buy was a monitor, and through League of Legends,
Wow.
because like she did Caitlyn and she had this really cool Oriana. Like it wasn't like a the regular skin Oriana. It was like a Moroccan skin Oriana
Cool.
that she made, and it got her to like the front page of like the league landing page, and
Oh, awesome. Good for her.
yeah, so like her cosplay Facebook page went from like the 50 people that like were her friends in high school, and like her family,
Mhm.
to like something around like 2,000 3,000 followers,
Wow.
like right then and there. And
Wow, that's exciting.
yeah, so like League of Legends is actually like one of those things where like I had fond memories of it like 2013 2014 when it was like in its heyday, you know, like
Yeah. Actually, I was super blessed to be able to cosplay at Spring LCS in, I think, 2016.
yeah,
So Riot invited myself. Well, they invited a couple cosplayers that I knew, who then, sent my reference. So
yeah.
we got box seats. We got to meet. Oh gosh, Eric gave him a Virgin Killer sweater. A really famous League of Legends player. I can't remember his name because I'm a StarCraft esports girl, not a League esports girl.
Got it.
Yeah, so we went and I cosplayed Ari, and I cosplayed. Who else did I bring? Ari and it was somebody. Oh, Jinx, Star Guardian Jinx, because Star Guardians were really big, and my friends and I, we did a Star Guardian group. We didn't have Poppy. That was the only one we didn't have. They
Yeah,
made me be Jinx, which was like I wanted to make the big gun, and I like red, so I was like, I
yeah.
want to be Jinx. But Jinx, like, when you make a cosplay and you're like, that does not look good on me. That's how I felt about my Jinx cosplay.
Oh, got it.
I'm like, how it looks good on the dress form, but like on me, I'm like, no, I should have been Poppy or I should have been Lulu because I'm pretty tiny. But I digress. It was a really cool experience. And although I don't play League of Legends and I don't really even cosplay from League anymore, League always has a place in my heart just because like
Yeah,
Riot was always so good to its cosplayers,
yeah.
like really good. Like I hope more companies learn to be just as good as Riot was to their cosplayers, or still is. I don't know if
Yeah,
they still are.
no, I feel that because like Riot is Riot is like always on like the when it comes to treating their influencers, their the people that like come to their events, they treat them well. Like,
Hmm.
have you do you watch The Sky's Toast at all? Like or like any of the offline TV people?
No.
Oh, okay, because like I bring that up because like he used to be a Hearthstone streamer, but then like Blizzard treated him like shit, and then like
Yeah.
yeah, he quit Hearthstone, and then he started streaming TFT, and then he said that the way Riot treated him versus how Blizzard treated him, because uh, they like Riot gave him lift credit to get from like the airport to the Riot Studios, and
Oh wow.
gave him food and whatnot to do playtests for for TFT. Whereas like Blizzard, like said he's like, oh, we want you to test our new game. We're not gonna pay you at all. Find your way here. So he used the lift credits that he got from Riot to go to like the Blizzard thing, because Blizzard didn't treat him well at all. So
Oh, that's really shitty, especially because like I played World of Warcraft for a long
Ooh.
time. I have over 165 days on my World of Warcraft main. I do not mess around with WoW. However, I think Blizzard has done WoW dirty in the past few years, so I
Yeah.
haven't played. I did play Classic for a bit, but then there was the old PvP system release, and I was level 50, so
Yeah.
I got farmed and it wasn't fun, so stop playing. But I definitely do follow WoW, and I probably will play Shadowlands. Kevin thinks my end goal is just to be a WoW streamer, but I don't know. We'll see how that
What
goes.
what
He's like, you just gotta do it.
when was your heyday? Like what installments did you play for a while?
I started in Burning Crusade, so
Okay.
the patch where they nerfed the leveling from 1 to 60,
Yeah.
that's when I think I had a hunter and she was level 30.
Mm.
And then I played straight through until
Custom.
Cataclysm, where I got bored and I stopped playing. And then Blizzard was like, "Hey, rogues, you're getting legendary daggers," and I was like, "Shut up and take my money." So I resubbed and I was like, "Come on, brothers, Mama needs legendary daggers. Get on your cart, we're going raiding." And I got my legendary daggers, and I didn't play after that because I felt I beat the game. I did all the
Ah.
raiding. I killed a lot of heroic bosses. I have a pre-nerf Fire Lord title from Cataclysm. I have
Ooh.
my legitimate legendary daggers from Cataclysm that me and 9 other nerds got because I wanted them, and they were like, yeah. uh,
Oh man.
and then I just never played. I came back for Pandas, and Kevin and I played through Pandas, and we were like, oh yeah, that's fun. And then I was really hyped for Warlords of Draenor, and I think everybody was really
Everyone
hyped for
was hype.
Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah.
But then you played it, and it just wasn't fun.
Yeah. No.
And then
Good.
then Legion came out,
Mm.
and we played Legion. And then they were like, "Hey, rogues, do you like RNG? Great. So do we. Have some RNG in your rotation." And I was like, "Also, combat is a pirate now. Yar har har." And I was like, "I want this, Blizzard. Oh, I don't want to be a pirate. I hate it." So then I didn't play. And BFA, all I thought with BFA was like, "Damn, Jaina Proudmoore looks really
Really good.
fucking good.
Good.
I'm a
Yeah.
cosplayer." And I never played BFA. But Shadowlands, I'm thinking me and like my little undead rogue Maru might strap up and go find the 9 kittens of Maldraxxus.
That's
We'll
awesome.
see.
No, that's awesome. Because
I've been kind of following like what they're doing with the covenants, and I'm like, "Oh no, Blizzard, I don't know, it
no.
seems a little iffy to me," but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. Because like me and my brother, we like my brother still plays on and off every now and then. Like he's been more the more consistent one. But I played more during vanilla and BC. Like
Yeah, right. PC gang, rise up.
yeah, and like it got to the point where like my hunter was it because like we were raiding Black Temple and like and was it we were consistent at that. But there, all right, I'll tell the story because it's long winded, but I'll tell it anyway. But so when it came to my guild, we were raiding Black Temple, and we had a rogue that didn't want to get anything in the temple at all. All he wanted was the
Except
except the,
Warglaives.
yeah, the warglaves. He just wanted
I'm a
more of them.
rogue.
Yeah.
I understand.
So what was it? This guy was my boy. His name was D Shiznit, and I love him to death. But like, it was one of those things where, like, we would raid together, and like we would always like go lobby hunting and have fun. Because like I was like 16, he was like 14 at the time, and we just did that. But then, as soon as the warglaves dropped, he was the one that had the most DKP. He got the glaives, and then he quit server. Like he just dipped. he,
He was like, "See, I beat the game."
yeah,
Oh, your
yeah,
guild was been pissed.
yeah. No, like our like the guild, like he didn't do it like right away. He did it like a week after he got the glaives, but he dipped. Fucking 5 years later, I'm in college. I'm at Mount Echo Community College, and I'm in a smoker circle, and we're talking about old video games. And then like fucking this little stoner kid was like, "Yeah, I remember like World of Warcraft. That show was dope. Like I was in a guild called Divine Valor," and I was like, "Bitch, you were in Divine Valor? the fuck? Like, were you Malorn? He's like, yeah. I was like, I was a Malorn. He's like, oh shit. I was like, I'm Wetwub. He's like, oh fuck. I'm D Shiznit, dog. I was like, oh motherfucker. So
That's so cool.
I got to meet him face to face. And like after that, like what was it, before class we'd always like smoke weed or like chill out. So like he was like my stoner buddy for like that
that's
semester.
so cool. You're wow, buddy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, because like that's why World of Warcraft has like a soft spot in my heart. Like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, like I don't play like, but then like I'll be real, like when I was playing World of Warcraft, that was probably the most overweight I've ever been. Like, if you saw the plate of Hot Pocket plates next to the computer, it was fucking disgusting. Like my mom was like,
I believe it.
Yeah, like,
mine was like when I lived with like my old roommates
Yeah.
and it was like raid night. It was like midnight McDonald's run.
Yeah.
Let's go, boys.
What
That was me playing WoW.
did you?
This was before cosplay.
Yeah. Did you? Were you on the server when like the South Park episode came out for World of Warcraft?
No, that was before my time.
Oh, okay.
But I remember the South Park episode.
Yeah, like everybody was.
It was the only one I ever watched.
Because like everybody was spamming like trade channel, like willing to buy Sword of a Thousand Truths, like
Yeah.
like all like just throughout the whole fucking trade chat. I was like, oh my god.
Good old trade chat. I love me some trade chat. Good times. I played on an RP server for a little bit for most
Really?
of my Cataclysm rating
Ooh.
days. And what I used to do, because I myself am not an RPer,
Mm.
I myself am also like a neckbeard, kind of an elitist when it comes to WoW. So
Yeah.
I'm not very nice because I was like brought up to, that's how the WoW players around me acted. So I was sort of molded by them. So what I used to like to do, and don't do this is very mean,
Yeah.
is I put on my like Bloodfang gear and I'd go to RPers in Stormwind and I'd just sit by them. Didn't do anything. I just sit by them. Then they get mad and then they'd emote like so and so gets up and walks away from this roguish cur. So they'd walk away and I'd go behind them and sit next to them again. Another thing we used to do was if you've heard of Moonguard, I played on Moonguard, man. So you know what we used to do to Moonguard is you'd go to the Goldshire Inn and find ERPers, and you would find them. And in Cataclysm and Wrath, you'd have like 2-3 person mounts, and this was before like fall damage was nerfed. So you'd like talk to like some dude bro playing a night elf, and you'd be like, "Hey, you want to go ERP over here?" And they'd sit on your mount. And if you were an engineering rogue, you could take them to the top of a cliff, and you could jump off, dismount, and pop your parachute, and they would die. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I'm sure the ERPers were like, that's the last time I fall for this trick. Because I can't think that me and this other dude, this other buddy of mine, were the only ones doing that.
Yeah, no, like
That's what happens with PvP server people go to RP PvE servers. They aren't very nice.
So important question, Alliance or Horde?
Horde, baby.
Yeah, thanks, sweet Jesus. Holy fuck.
I know, I was worried. I was like, oh,
I was like,
are we friends?
Are we friends or are we fucking enemies? Like that's like the now I
Be Horde.
yeah, I ran an orc hunter. My brother, like the funniest shit was like was it he was a troll warrior, and like fucking the guild would ran Karazhan, and he would be the only like warrior in the group, and when tank plate dropped, he was always in the party, so like he got so many good drops from Karazhan to the point where like everyone's like, okay, you need to be a tank, and then like he's like,
just made them. They were like, you have too much loot to just waste it.
Yeah.
Now go tank.
yeah, you have to like you have all this plate gear, like you're not a plate wearing rogue anymore. You're gonna tank, and then
Play rogue. That's what death are.
yeah, and this was before like death knights were a thing. Then like legit, because like legit like it wasn't the fact that he couldn't do he couldn't like tank. Is that our internet was so shitty at the time
Mhm.
that like that's what like made him go like, hey, I don't think I could tank because there's a chance that my internet could fuck up and I lose aggro. But
It's funny because like I played an undead rogue. I played a
yeah,
male undead rogue because A, I don't want to get harassed on WoW.
yeah,
B, I want people to take me seriously when I, go in a raid, and I would make a point not to talk on Ventrilo unless it was my guild and
yeah,
unless it was people I knew, just so that people wouldn't leave me alone.
yeah.
I did though in parts of Cataclysm play Alliance on an RP server, which is why I like was trolling in Stormwind because I played an Alliance for a stint, but like my heart is always with the Horde.
Oh yeah, most stuff. Like, was it like fucking Sylvanas could do all this, all the fucking shadiest shit under the planet, but she's still my war chief. like I,
Yeah, I'm like, I follow that bitch to the ends of the earth.
yeah,
My queen. I
that's
simp.
I sent for my queen. I don't give a fuck.
I was like, those night elves had it coming,
Yeah,
man.
fuck those night elves.
They're just like evolved trolls, anyways.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
just kill them. Just kill them. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
What am I the only like one of the only streamers I watch is Asmongold. And
Yeah,
what did he say about Blizzard? He's like, people at Blizzard are either Illidan simps or Sylvanas simps. And I was like, you're onto something.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, oh man, like, because like I keep up with the lore through YouTube synopsis channels, like, and like, what was it? The shit they did to Sylvanas and like, oh man, just ah
Yeah, I feel like why did they have to make her evil? Like she was such
yeah,
a cool leader for the Horde. And she was like the only girl leader, and it was like, and she was hot, and she led the undeady boys, and it was
yeah,
just cool, man. I
yeah,
liked her like a girl, like as a girl, like who likes video games. It's like always cool to see sort of like a badass, sort of almost like she's like not evil, but like she looks out for her and her little undead babbies, and it was just cool to see. Like Tyrande doesn't really do anything, she's not
yeah.
that involved, and like Jaina in Asmongold's world, Jaina ruined everything. And I agree, maybe not, but she should have gone with Kelthus instead of Arthas. If I was an advice giving girlfriend of Jaina, I'd be like, girl,
Girl,
he is the wrong man for you. Date the rich elf prince. He'll give you beautiful children and a great, when he dies, you'll have a lot of wealth. You can go hang out in Silvermoon, and it's really pretty there. It's one of my favorite zones in WoW. I love the Blood Elf area. It's so pretty.
oh yeah, no, it's awesome. Oh, jeez.
Oh, what's your favorite zone in WoW?
My favorite zone. Oh my gosh, because like I feel like, and this is like a hot take, because like not many people are gonna like it, but I really like Desolace. Like
Dude, I'm not even joking. Desolus is probably like my second favorite zone in WoW.
really,
My favorite zone is Eastern Plaguelands. I love the
ooh,
mushrooms. I love
yeah,
like the orange. I love like the death and the goop and the
yeah,
the the fetidness of it. But I do really, really love Desolus. Desolus is probably my second favorite.
yeah,
I love the Kodo Graveyard, and, like the Centaur area, and like
yeah.
I love Desolus.
Because
Good taste.
like Desolace was like it felt like a coming of age story, like you were like trying to get the 40 so you could get a fucking mount.
And you were there because
Yeah,
it was the only place to
place.
get to 40 because it was vanilla WoW.
Yeah, and like it's like, and like when you have to find Rexar, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
the community that was involved in like finding that motherfucker, like you're like, okay, cool, like that's
Anybody seen Rexar? No.
it's like, is Rexar here? Fuck, god damn it.
Where's Rexar? Anybody seen Rexar?
That's why it's like what was it, like those levels, like from like 32 to 40 was like the like what was it, it felt like that was like my like it felt like like grinding in a creative field that you want to make it in, and like when you get your mount, that's when you're like, okay, I felt like I made it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. because you got your mount in 40. I always forget that because it was like Wrath. They changed that, and that was a long time ago.
Wait,
but you're
what?
right. Like when you get that mount at 40, feels good, man. Like there's like not a lot of things in WoW that feels good as like mount at level 40.
Yeah. It's slow as shit. But it's my fucking mount, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's slow, it's janky, but goddamn, it's my slow, janky mount.
Yeah, it's because like, oh man, like there was that. I really did like I did like Karazhan as a dungeon, because that's like because it was such a good like introduction dungeon out of any of the dungeons I played for like pre rating.
It was 10 man too, so
Yeah,
it was really easier, or it was like pretty easy to get groups for.
yeah, and I like the layout. I like the different bosses and their quirks, and like I was a hunter, so like I'd be the dude that was kiting the fuck I. Like they had that round table, and then like you had to kite one of these fucks around. Like,
Is that the opera,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
or was that Moros? Moros have ads? I don't remember. It's been so long. I hate Karazhan. I always got lost there. I was like, fuck this instance. I hate Karazhan. I hate it. I have like Karazhan here. I was like, Karazhan's the best. I'm like, I hate that place. I'm always getting lost, getting turned around. I don't have a map. I'm like sitting there. Poor little undead Mars like crying in a corner because he's lost. He wants to go home.
You see your people suffering. You're like, this place fucking sucks.
Exactly. He's like, I'm out. My favorite in Burning Crusade. What was my favorite raid? Probably Serpent Shrine Cavern, actually.
Really?
Killing Lady Bosch.
Yeah.
Like, just the feeling of killing her.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an achievement of coordination. Like you can get 24 other people to do that. Like the personal responsibility of throwing the core around,
yeah,
and like having everybody have their shit together,
yeah,
just for one round of Lady Vosh. When I first killed Kel'Thas in Tempest Keep, Ashes of Valar dropped.
Really?
And yep. And the raid leader forgot to turn on Master Loot. So it was free roll for Ashes of Valar. I didn't win. There was another person that got it, and she was a healer, and she was very pleased. I remember trying to farm Alar at the end of like Cataclysm, but I was just like done with the game by then. I was like, I got 150 mounts. I don't need the Firebird. Kevin, my boyfriend, he plays WoW a lot more than I do. Like he plays more off and on. He farmed the bird. In Legion, he had a character, Demon Hunter. His name was Bird Farm Man or Bird Farmer. And he did it on 3 characters, and he has Ashes of Valar, and I'm like, I'm proud of you.
Oh, that's
proud to be my boyfriend. Because he always jokes that I'm much better at WoW than he is. Yeah. But he has something I don't.
Yes, you have the fucking bird, you ass.
I got the bird.
Because like
damn, it's a beautiful bird.
Because I remember like why Tempest Keep was such a bitch for a horde, because you needed a paladin paladin tank. So you need like somebody to power level a blood elf paladin, like in that's why like was it the one fucker that got that did it, he was the most geared out paladin, because like he was like he was the de facto it. He's like
in my opinion, Burning Crusade best expansion.
Yeah, like
it's the best. I think Wrath is probably second, but Burning Crusade's the best.
Yeah, I love Burning Crusade because that was the most I was involved with it. Like what was it? I've heard good things about pandas. Like there was like one particular patch where it was really good, but I didn't play it, so I couldn't.
I've heard pandas. The sort of the rose tinted glasses of pandas is that classes and gameplay felt really good, and raids were really good. Everything else was like so. But like that's the thing with WoW. What they say is like WoW, the questing and the story is really good, and the raiding is really good. But there's so many dailies, there's so many systems, there's so much BS that it's just like for 2 fun things you have to do all of this like chores.
Yeah. And
the chores are like daily quests, like little mobile game quest things, and it's like I don't know. I don't play anymore. I just I every time I see it I want to play, but I'm like I've been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh.
Because I'm a disgusting fangirl, so
because like that's the other thing too, because like what is it? Like, WoW aside, like, I heard that 14 is like a fun ride now. Like, what makes it good in your eyes for how, like, in general?
So as a neckbeard going to the weeb game,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm a fusion of the neckbeard weeb. I am the weeb neckbeard. Final Fantasy 14, the first thing I noticed, people are way nicer.
Hmm.
Way nicer. Wow, everybody is a competitive POS,
Yeah.
including myself. Cuz first of all, in Final Fantasy 14, you are not allowed to have DPS meters. And
Really?
my DPS heart, yeah, no mods. Like they don't like you modding the game. So no DPS meters. And I was asking about it, and they were like, "Oh, you know, you can get your account banned if you install them." Blah blah blah. So I was like, "Oh," and then you know the argument is like, "Well, you know, I think it's good because that way you can't you can't like harass other people for you know doing bad DPS." And I'm like, "Well, most of the time in WoW, good players want to see how they themselves are performing and where they need to improve. Right? It's not for putting other people down."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah." Like only shitty people put people down.
Yeah.
Shitty players.
Like,
and
good.
and yeah, people are just much nicer. The game is different, but also similar to WoW. It's like I would describe it as a single player MMO. It's super story focused,
Yeah.
and you know, it's not super community focused. I guess like there's still rating and stuff like that, but it's not to the same level as WoW.
Yeah.
I don't know because I haven't rated WoW lately, and I'm not even level cap in Final Fantasy 14. But I'm really enjoying it, and there's a fat cat mount, and I love that thing so much. Like Square Enix just released like a giant fat cat plush. It's 220 USD. It's bigger than me. I told Kevin, I was like, he has to come home with us. I'm sorry. I'm like, we need him in the house. Like, I need a giant fat cat. And you see the promo pictures, and there's like a woman sitting on him. He's basically a giant beanbag chair. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
I need it.
if you're looking for an MMO, I would definitely recommend Final Fantasy 14 as like an ex-WoW player. Like it's different, but it's also the same.
Yeah, I feel that because like, what is it? Like going back to WoW just for a little bit, like the fun thing was that like being on top of the DPS meters and just like shit talking everybody else, like
yeah,
like that like I had so much joy like being a Beastmaster hunter at the time, just like
BM hunter.
Yeah.
Do you remember that meme?
Yeah, just fucking like just spamming my macro, having my fucking my tiger just fucking like crit like a motherfucker like every fucking time. But legit, what was it? I would do this, and then like there was actually a patch between Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade when they had the that big motherfucker, not where you have to fight Kael'thas again, but before you get to like the big fuck, I forgot his name already. Sunwell.
In which raid? Sunwell.
Yeah.
Oh, Brutalis.
Yeah, like was it like in that patch they buffed the shit out of Boomkin druids.
Oh really? Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Boomkin, but I remember Sunwell. Bitch though.
Yeah.
I never did Sunwell legitimately.
Yeah, like we never downed him in my time playing, but like they buffed Boomkin druids, and then like our Resto druid, he's like, I fuck Resto. I'm like, and like shout out to Shadow.
He's like, I'm gonna go boom.
Yeah. Shout out to Shadowthorn. If you ever hear this shit, man, I love you to death, because he was like this 55-year-old black man that was like the chillest dude, the chillest cat, and then like he would be in raid, and he would be right behind me in DPS. He'd be like, Boomkin, baby, and I'm like, oh, that's so dope.
I love it. I remember in Cataclysm when I was on my quest to get my legendary daggers, and it was only like me and like maybe 10, 11 other people in a really small guild.
Yeah.
And I got we had sort of connections with the best horde guild on the server. So sometimes they would send a couple guys to help us out.
Yeah.
So one time they sent the shaman, and I wasn't raid leading because this new person was in the vent, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to this new guy. I'm like, he doesn't need to know my memes. And he sent me a DM. He's like, your DPS is really sick. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he's like, I'm a rogue in this guild. You know, I'm second on the list to get my legendaries. He's like, he's like, you know, if you need, like, if you want to run anything, let me know. You're a really good player. And it like made my heart so happy. And he was pretty surprised later when he found out it was the girl and she was the guild leader. And I was like, hi, yes, it is me.
It is me. It's like, no.
Yeah, it feels good to like perform really well and
Yeah.
play your best, know what you're doing, and then have people like take your performance at face value. And then you could shock a player and be like, yeah, I'm a girl.
Yeah, exactly. Like what is it? It's
And
just
they kind of respect you for it, and they're like, oh,
yeah,
all right.
and that's the thing, because like that 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 feeling is consistent, like from like World of Warcraft to even like cosplay to even like photography. Like when your work becomes good enough where like your peers that you respect, comment on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's the thing I like, because like um in my time like in cosplay, like I love just talking to individuals such as yourself, and it's one of those things where I'm like, this person's a nerd. Hell yeah. Like we talked about like World of Warcraft for like at least 25 minutes. Which
Hey man, I could talk about WoW for like ever. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel that.
I love WoW. I like my little. It's like I have like three favorite video games, and the only reason I include WoW on there because like I'm not really WoW doesn't move me in the same way as some of my other favorite games do, and it doesn't leave like the same sort of emotional impact. But through learning and playing and making friends and accomplishing and leading and challenging yourself, it earns a place as one of my favorite games because I
Yeah.
put so much time into it.
Yeah.
And for me, I'll always love World of Warcraft. Like, it's like right here in
Yeah.
my heart.
Hits you right here. Like, just out of curiosity, like, we're gonna go back into cosplay. Like, if you had like if you had infinite time and infinite money, what would be your dream thing that you would craft, if you had the time and budget for it?
So somebody asked me this on Instagram, and I actually said I don't need time, I don't need money. I just would just do it.
Mm.
I would just make whatever I wanted, and that's what I'm doing with my time right now.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to make Red Sonja. I wanted to make Red Sonja forever.
Yeah.
She's been on my list, and now like I got surgery. I'm good. I learned how to do scale mail,
Yeah.
not upside down. I fixed that. So I just do what I want. I
Ooh.
like, like for me, like I don't believe like necessarily spending more money makes a better cosplay. It's more like you practicing and you getting better at your craft makes a better cosplay. Like you can spend a little bit of extra money to get like, to get like a fancy sewing machine, but like
Yeah.
are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to its full potential? Like I could spend a bunch of money and get like another 3D printer. Am I going to use it to its full capacity or, potential? Probably not. It's like about spending your money smarter and just doing what you want to do because you want to do it. So I like guess my answer to that is like really weird and broad. I'm like, I just would make it anyways, regardless of time and money. Because if I want to make it, I'll figure it out.
God, I know that's awesome. Like you said that like WoW was in your top three. What are the other two that like that strike a chord with you?
My three top three video games, because I can never like decide which is number one. The first one is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The second is Final Fantasy X, and the third is Bloodborne.
Really?
They're all like one. Sometimes I like Bloodborne more. Sometimes I like Final Fantasy X more. Sometimes I like Ocarina more. But those are my top three favorite games.
Got it. No, that's why I like, because like out of the three, like the one I gravitate towards because I am a diehard Final Fantasy fanboy is 10. So
Yeah.
like, it's like what takes it over like 7, 9, or any of the other Final Fantasies in there? Gameplay.
I like so with Final Fantasy like 7, 8, and 9, there's sort of an element of zerginess, and there's sort of an element of your decisions don't matter and they don't really calculated. Like
Yeah.
that's how, at least when I was younger and at least nowadays, how I approach those games. I like I like, and I mean, this could sort of apply to Final Fantasy X,
Yeah.
but I feel it more applies to like 7, 8, and 9. Like
Yeah.
it's faster paced, and it just doesn't feel like you're thinking and working through your steps. Whereas in Final Fantasy X, it has true turn based combat,
Yeah.
and I've always felt that because certain characters countered certain enemies, certain abilities were used in this situation, certain certain things did certain things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a game. But I just feel like during gameplay, if you make a wrong move, a boss can kill you. I mean, you can definitely zerg out and over level in Final Fantasy X to make everything easy.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I always found the bosses just more challenging, and just probably because of the slower pace, it just feels like your decisions are more impactful rather than the quicker paced games. And just like that sort of pacing I really like.
Yeah.
Other things I think Final Fantasy X, we're not like Final Fantasy VII Remake is its own thing, but
Yeah.
I think for music and sort of atmosphere and feeling, I think for me Final Fantasy X soundtrack is my absolute favorite. Like there's one song called The Wandering Flame, like anytime I listen to it, doesn't matter, I'll get the sickest nerd chills.
Yeah.
And like anytime I hear that the dream, I think it's called The Dream Will End Someday, and it plays when your party is walking to through Xanarkand, and it plays through battles and stuff, and it's like sort of a melodic version of Yuna's theme, and it's quite sad and solemn, like considering like where you're at in the story. And every time I go through that area, I always just feel this like dread and sadness. And like I think Final Fantasy X has some of the best post game out of any Final Fantasies, because you got the monster arena, you got the Dark Aeons, you got penance, you got all the celestial weapons, you got like monster capturing. Like there's so much to do. And like I love the sphere grid. It's such a cool way to like max out your characters. Like it just feels like if you want to make Yuna hit like Auron, you could do that.
Yeah, you can.
If you want to make Auron cast black magic, you could do that. Will he be good at it? Not necessarily right away. But I sort of like that they from like, I guess different from 8 and 7, they sort of take 9 in that 9 everybody has a specific job. They put you in specific areas for the start of the game, and then you could sort of branch off. And I really love the sphere grid.
Like
I like 7 was my very first Final Fantasy, and I would say that it's definitely my second favorite Final Fantasy, but just there's so much in 10 that I just really like more.
I
love Yuna. I love Yuna so much. Oh my god, I love Yuna. I'm just getting teary-eyed thinking about Yuna. Yuna.
What is it? That's why, like, I really love the spear grid, and I love that you could switch out members mid battle.
Yeah, me too. That's another mechanic I really liked.
That was my shit.
Wish that would come back.
Yeah.
Please come back.
I know, seriously.
Please.
Like did you see the trailers for Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, low fantasy.
Yeah. No, I'm stoked because like I want there because the thing is like they say it's the Dark Ages for like 13 and 15 when
I love Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
That's my dirty secret.
Like
I like Final Fantasy 13. I like it a lot.
I say that Final Fantasy 13 2 is like the most underrated Final Fantasy, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I love the soundtrack. I love Mog. I love Yeeting Mog.
Yeah.
I love Caius. Oh, I love Caius. Oh my god.
Caius was
I'm gonna be a thirsty girl for a second. Oh, Caius, please. Caius and Illidan have the same voice actor, and I am also an Illidan simp. Oh yeah, you can absolutely hear it. Like just listen to Caius, and you'll be like, oh fuck, that's Illidan.
Wait, are they the same voice actor?
Yep.
Oh wow, shit. Okay.
You'll hear his voice. At least when I first played it, I was like, God, Caius' voice is so familiar.
Yeah.
What is it? And then Kevin and I are sitting there on the couch because we watched this 24/7 Final Fantasy stream.
Yeah.
And the channel is Dan's 08.
Yeah, Dan's yeah.
And, yeah, it's literally we have it on our YouTube. And if I'm cooking, cleaning, I just throw it on.
Yeah.
And oh god, that guy's voice is familiar. And I was like, it's fucking Illidan. And sure enough, looked it up. Same voice actor.
Really? Oh shit.
Kevin said Kevin's not a Final Fantasy guy. He's like a Blizzard guy, so
yeah,
he would know.
Yeah, because
But
like,
yeah, 13-2.
because like, what was it? With 13 too, like I like that it gave like a Chrono Trigger vibe, and
Yeah, it did.
yeah,
Yeah.
like in its execution, and I liked Nolan and Sarah's dynamic and whatnot, but it's like like fucking Snow wins the prize of what the fuck boyfriend of the year, like seriously.
I get it. You know, when I was younger and
Yeah,
I first played Final Fantasy 13, I didn't like Snow.
yeah,
I was like, he's dumb, he's obnoxious, he's rude. Like, punch him in the face, Lightning. As I've gotten older, and you see Snow, and you're like, Snow is a nice guy. He
yeah,
legitimately cares about Sarah. He's like, he just wants to be the best hero he can be, and he cares about his friends. And yeah, he probably should be punished by lightning, because that's one of my favorite. Every time lightning hits Snow, I'm like, oh
yeah,
girl.
yeah, for real.
He's just this big happy nice guy, and I think I like big happy nice guys. He's like, what do the kids say? He's a himbo.
Yeah,
I understand. Do
that's fine. It's like, cause like
you know who does Snow's voice? Troy Baker.
really,
Yeah, like Troy Baker Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid 5, Troy Baker Joel from The Last of Us.
have you
And I'm like, oh shit. It's Joel.
have you ever played Persona 4 at all?
I've never played a Persona game. People are like, play Persona, and I'm like, one of these days.
Okay, so like legitimately speaking, like Persona 4 is like my favorite game of all time because like it got me like a loner video game nerd to want to have friends. Like it goes like, you know what, I should make friends. Like that's what
I should play this game.
yeah,
I should make friends.
yeah, like that's what Persona 4 did for me. Troy Baker voices Kanji from the game, and if you ever play this game and focus in on Kanji's character, god damn, Troy Baker had a lot of fun with this fucking character.
All right, on.
So just to give you a heads up on that, but like, and then the funny thing is like in the spin-offs and like future games, like Troy Baker didn't do Kanji's voice, but Matt Mercer took over and did like a Troy Baker impression.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I learn. He's McCree, right?
yeah, he's McCree.
I knew.
Oh my gosh, dude. The one moment I still kick myself every fucking day is at BlizzCon last year. Fucking Matt Mercer came out in McCree.
As McCree, right?
Yeah. And I was standing there with my camera gear and my little flash box, like just like
Mhm.
dumbfounded. Like I've never been so struck in my fucking life, but it was like Matt Mercer as a character. Fuck. And then like it was Jessica Nigri and Martin Wong, and they were with
Martini.
yeah, they were with Mercer, and I just had cold feet. I was like, fuck. And then like I finally got the courage to go up and say, hey, I'd like to do a quick photo if that's okay. And like he's like, oh, I have to go to a panel. I'm like, shit, I should have just like did this.
Oh no, that's too bad. I
But
remember, so like BlizzCon story with Jess. I remember being pretty drunk at my very first BlizzCon,
yeah,
and she came up to me. I was so starstruck. I was so overwhelmed with all the people. I was like almost in tears, and she gave me a hug, and I took a picture, and I look awful. I've never posted this picture of Jess and I, but she was there, and Martin Wong, like
yeah.
Martini, he was like massaging my shoulder. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just," and like, and that's why I don't drink at parties, because like I don't like huge groups of people. I met Jess again at Anime Expo.
Yeah.
And my friends and I were all the me girls, and
Yeah.
we all had her picture with her. Give her hugs. She's such a good, nice angel.
Oh,
She's so nice, and like, and I just like, man, you're so nice. You could not be nice, but you are nice, and I respect that.
Yes. No, she's a complete sweetheart. Like I love her to death because like she's just like a nerd and this unabashed nerd. Like
She is a nerd.
Yeah.
You can just totally tell. She just loves cosplay and loves being a dork. Like it's just you can just tell.
like, oh man, so like I think BlizzCon 2017, 2018, one of those two. I was like practicing like a new technique. I was doing long exposure portraits. So like what it takes is like me in like darkness. I hit my camera flash, and then like it freezes the subject, but then like all the light particles around them like is like I could light paint with them. So like
Oh, cool.
that I was doing that. So a lot of my friends like it was getting to the later times of BlizzCon, and they're like, hey, we're going to Korean barbecue. Are you down to come? And I'm like,
Mm.
I'm okay. I'm working out this new photo technique. I'll catch up with you guys later. And all I was doing was looking for someone with lights. I just needed someone with LEDs on their costume, and then like I'll do this concept. They had this like really cool like what is it, Protoss drone, like that like the on like a little,
The probe or whatever.
yeah, and like it would just like zoom off, and I did a little photo concept with it, and I was like looking for people with LEDs, and then the only person that I saw was Nigri with her Alex Straza, and like
Yep.
yeah, the crown lit up. I was like, I'm gonna find someone else because I don't know if she's gonna take pictures of me. Whatever. I'm gonna go look for someone else. Then like, lo and behold, I'm like, I can't find anybody. I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I go, hey, I want to do a long exposure portrait project with you. I'm gonna be in that dark corner of this convention. If you want to do it, and I showed her a proof of concept with my buddy Jeff's Genji, and she's like, oh, that looks cool. Let's do it. And I'm like, oh shit, really? Okay, cool. So.
You're like, oh, okay.
So she fought like this whole barrage of people mobbing her for pictures and all that,
And I bet.
and she came to like this corner where I was doing pictures, and like I was there with like my little like crop sensor camera, like with nothing, and every photographer was looking at me like, who the fuck is this kid, like taking pictures with Nigri, and then I took the pictures, and she's like, oh, look at this, and like she was showing her boyfriend, like he's like, oh, look at this is really cool, and I'm like, oh shit, and like I was hyperventilating after the fact. I was like,
Yeah, you're probably pretty nervous.
yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, because I never was like starstruck like doing pictures, but like I was like, it's fucking Negri, like that's like Queen Bee right there. So
Mm-hmm.
I had fun with it, and then like there was a moment where like my name went from like just like one dude with a camera in SoCal to like, oh yo, that's Remcreate, because like he worked with like so and so, and I'm like, I worked with other people too. I do photo concepts. He's like, no,
Yeah, isn't that strange?
yeah, you work with Negri. I was like,
How that goes, right?
yeah, exactly. I was like, cause like,
Like
yeah,
it was like once.
yeah, it was like once, like it was once. It wasn't like we planned it out. It was more like it was like a convention shot, and they're like, but you had her for like 10-15 minutes doing a shoot, like hardly anyone in the scene down here is able to do that. Only like Martin Wong and like Dave Yang get that.
Yeah, like probably her friends, right?
Yeah, and
People she knows. I know. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, sometimes even for myself, like I'm nowhere near as like popular as she is, but even me, like I have certain photographers that I stick to and work with,
Yeah,
and like definitely as long as I'm not busy, like I'll pretty much work with anyone unless somebody's like, this guy's a creep or this person,
oh yeah,
you shouldn't shoot with them. But for the most part, I have like a Rolodex of people that I always like stop in and say hi, and like we work together. But yeah, it's like, and especially because her time is so, she has like way less time than probably like anybody I know. She has to be really picky with who she works with and who's going to get her what she like, the better photos, and
yeah.
she'd probably just rather work with her friends, because I think for conventions, for most people, it's just about work, like seeing your friends, right?
Yeah,
Working
most
with your
definitely.
friends.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Because like it's one of those things where like I do want to build my network, and I do want to like because like if I just stick with my friends, then like I'm gonna be stagnant as like as a photographer. But like, and I love my friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good way to look at it.
yeah. But I love my friends. Don't get me wrong. But then like, it's one of those things where like, I want to strengthen my network, and like, that's how I like it. Was it my friends were starstruck when they saw you? They're like, oh shit, that's Maruwins. I was like, oh, she seems cool. And like I go like, hey, you want to take a picture? She's like, yeah. And like they're like, how the fuck? I was like, no, I like her cosplay. It's dope. Like let's work.
It's just, let's do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me is the weirdest thing when people are like, "Oh, you're Maruwins," and I'm like, "I'm just a dork who cosplays." I don't know. I'm totally well, maybe normal's not the right word, but I'm not like because I think people they sort of forget that you're just like them and they
Yeah.
just see you through the internet as this screen on the internet and they're like wow they see you as like almost like and it's not necessarily a bad thing it's
Yeah.
just how you're shown on the internet and like
Yeah.
seeing Mara on the internet is very different from seeing Mara as a person. Mara
Yeah.
as a person you can't see her because she's so short, you have to look for her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality.
Shout out to shout out to Kevin.
Stream community loves Kevin. They're like, "Where's Kevin? Is he slaving away?" I'm like, "Hey, I pay him to edit my photos. Okay, he's on payroll. He don't work for free." Like that's just what you tell us. It's the cover up. I'm like, "We're not." Oh yeah, I really.
Yeah, no.
Kevin's.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. That's why it's like, it's one of those things where like, oh, this is a joke I'm workshopping right now, and like it's one of those things where like, here like when it comes to cosplay photography and cosplayers, right? Like, here's the thing, like if someone says, hey, like I'm gonna do the shoot, like can I bring my friends, like, and if the photographer says no, that's not cool, that's a big red flag. Okay, for me,
Absolutely.
yeah, for me, if they say, can I bring my boyfriend, can I bring my friends, I'm like, yes, bring all of them. I need light stands. I need all the light stands you can bring me.
you're like, put him to work.
Yeah, I was like, what is it? Your friend vapes? Perfect. You're my fog machine now.
I have in Vancouver there's like the Vancouver cosplay community, especially like the people that have been in the longest, it's very tight knit. So we all were really good friends with one another. So
Yeah.
I have a couple friends and they do YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And one of them he vapes. So I was wearing my sister Frida cosplay and she's like this nun from Dark Souls. And so Theo, my buddy Theo had a vape pen and our buddy Will was like, Theo, need some smoke for me. So he's like vaping in my way and we got some pretty cool photos.
That's why it's one of those things where like what is it? You just gotta like, because like that's the cool thing about cosplay photography is that like like if you're at a convention and you have like this like for lack of better words shitty landscape behind you, how do you form it to make it look cool, you know?
Yeah,
like
I know this is me personally because I'm a very devil's in the details person. I studied accounting, so it kind of goes with the territory. So oftentimes I'll scope out the area the convention is in, and I'll be like, what cosplays could work for these shooting areas?
Yeah.
What cosplays should I bring? So one of the things I love about Fanime is the vast number of different shooting areas. Like you got the Fairmont, you got the West End, you got like the creek, the little bridge, you got that gray wall if you want to do some light shit. You got those stairs that the security always blocks off when we shot.
Yeah, for real.
There's like tons of areas to shoot at Fanime, and that's one of the reasons I'm always like, what should I bring to Fanime? Like, so deciding stuff to bring to Fanime is really fun because there's so many different places. AX, it's like,
yeah, it's like you could do Tifa, but then like it's like everyone shoots at that chain link pipeline.
Actually, I wore Tifa last year to AX, and that was the first time I found out about that chain link pipe.
Yeah.
And like now I'm doing remake Tifa. Well, Advent Children Tifa in November. So I'm trying to like every time Kevin and I are driving around, I'm looking for some place that kind of looks like that, and I'm like, where should we go and shoot Tifa where we won't get arrested?
Exactly. That's what.
We're being on private property.
That's why, because it's one of those things where like shooting cosplays and like just dealing with security and saying like I'm a student or like I'm like this isn't for commercial use, this is for personal use. It's like
especially California has such strict laws about that kind of stuff because it's like such a like film Hollywood industry area.
Yeah,
even Vancouver, sometimes you read and you have to be careful where you shoot. And, so Kevin and I, we don't usually bring light stands. He'll bring like a handheld flash. And usually and especially with the Rona, it's just been us going out to shoot.
Yeah.
So,
No, I feel that because like, what is it? Devil's advocate in the beginning of of quarantine was like, man, like this really sucks. Was it people are getting sick and all that, but in the back of my photographer brain, I'm like, no one's outside. Cool.
it's outside.
but
It's like the dark Kermit meme.
Yeah, it's like no one's outside. Bro.
Everybody's sick and dying. Like no one's outside.
Yeah, no one's outside, man. But like in quarantine, I didn't shoot. Like lately, I've been hit up to like do shoots. If you see that camera back there with that big ass fucking lens, like I barely just got that. I'm super happy about it. But it's like I could.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I could be far away and shoot appropriately, which I'm happy about. But yeah, no, it's just crazy going about shooting and the whatnot. Like what would be your dream cosplay shoot? For
Oh man, there's probably a couple. So I recently made Triss Marigold's green obnoxious plunging neckline dress from The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I would love to shoot that like at like sort of like a bougie palace with like red and gold and all like fancy and like some of those photo studios they have in like South Asia, they have beautiful photo studios. Also the ballroom in that one hotel.
Yeah.
Fanime would also work. Another dream shoot of mine would probably be I would love to go to Prague and shoot my Eileen the Crow cosplay because Prague is what Yarnum is based after. So especially if you got up early in the morning during like the sunrise and you just get all the like old timey buildings with your Eileen the Crow cosplay for like peak Bloodborne vibes. And I mean, it's not like I don't know if it's like a dream shoot, but this year we're gonna go shoot my Red Sonja cosplay in the snow. So we're gonna go up a mountain. I'm gonna in the snow and freeze my bum off, but that little hit for me, so it should be okay.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, we've been going at it for like a good hour and 40. So
it's awesome talking to you.
Yeah, seriously, like thank you for coming on. Like, what was it?
I am.
Before we go, was it tell the people where they could find you on the internets.
So you can find me on my Instagram at Maruwins, or on my Twitch at Maruwins, or on my Twitter at Maruwins. And it's all spelled easy, Maruwins. Super easy to find. I'm here. All my stuff. Check out my cosplay. Support me if you so choose. If not, that's cool too. Understand.
And hopefully you guys see that she is an awesome nerd that crafts, that like is like a nerd about the things that she cosplays and all that fun stuff, right? So what is it? Oh my gosh, this is my ending tag. Fuck. Okay, there you go. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 11, 12, one of those episodes. And like, comment, subscribe to Remcreate. I'm your host, Ray, aka Remcreate, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you guys.